Considering that this isn't like the first type of instance that this has happened, folks are definitely like very upset, very angry. I mean, I myself am angry. And I also think that we're seeing folks be more focused than ever on actually getting this to end. What does it look like to put tangible action and policy in place? And I'm really seeing folks focus on that and continuing to also show up for Tyre and making sure that we get justice for Tyre. The Scorpion unit is a task force that's under other task force units in Memphis. So those task force are tasked with quote unquote decreasing the amount of crime in high crime areas, or what we consider high crime areas, which is just areas with a lot of poverty and lower income, because that's what we do to poor people. We criminalize them. And so they were tasked with flooding those areas. And that looks like these 8-people teams on the Scorpion unit. They would harass people, pull them over for pretextual traffic stops, which is just driving while black usually. But the most important part is that they are always approaching folks with violence. As people have seen, if they watch that video, they yanked Tyre out of the car and tased him. That's how most people are treated here. And that's why it's not new to us that someone was assaulted so violently and that they were killed, because that's what we've been warning would happen. So until we actually disband these task force, this same kind of story can happen again. And that's the main issue with white supremacy and anti-blackness, is that we don't trust Black people. We don't trust that they know how to keep themselves safe in their neighborhoods, so we over-police them. And so we have to humanize how we see Black people. And I think it's important that we talk about who Tyre was as a person, as a 29-year-old Black man, as a father, as a skateboarder, as a photographer. Like, those are the important things that we should talk about, because obviously we don't see him as human. If you can beat somebody and quote unquote, as they say, as a human pinata, if you can treat someone like a human pinata and then afterwards talk about it and brag about what you did. I definitely think it's important to keep uplifting the demands that we as a community and the family has. So that includes charging and firing all officers and public personnel that were on that scene accordingly. Whatever part they took in Tyre's murder, they all need to be held accountable. Also releasing the names and files for everyone involved. Helping to pass the Data Transparency Act through the City Council and the County Commission, ending the use of pretextual traffic stops and law enforcement during traffic enforcement at all, and ending the use of task force in Memphis. So that includes the multi-level gang unit, the organized crime unit, and the Scorpion unit, which has been permanently deactivated, but those other task force are still active. So they all need to be disbanded and permanently deactivated to ensure that citizens are actually safe. We have a National Day of Action coming up on Saturday, as well as February 7th, when we'll be mobilizing at the city council meeting on that day, getting all of those ordinances passed. Most of the city council members were going to be supporting those ordinances. And so I think we have the momentum that we need to actually make that happen now. So we need folks to continue showing up.